All right, this is our second update. It's July 24th, 2023. My last update was April, so I've given Les here April, May, June, July. I've given him 3 months. Now, usually these are 10-year projects, so I should only interview him once a year, but I give him 3 months. And as you can see from our last video, Les has made some awesome progress here. We got all the skin is basically all the skin for the fuselage is on,
Yeah.
other than the turtle deck. Tell us about the turtle deck.
Yeah. Okay. The turtle deck goes around this canopy bow, and then it'll extend back towards here. So I used the plans, and they have a template. I ordered the 016 aluminum, and I cut it out on the plans, and I set it over here, and I noticed that the turtle deck should come down to this point on both sides, but I noticed it was short. It came down to about right here. So what I did is I thought maybe I made a mistake, so I took a string and wrapped it around the bow on both sides, and then took it off to measure it, and it turns out that that's 43 inches.
Oops.
And the plans comes out to 37, so I'm 6 inches off, and I'm trying to look for a metal stretcher.
So you can't use hot glue to glue on that extra aluminum.
But the other thing that people may be interested in, the plans are good, but I found that I've made mistakes, and this is a good example to measure twice and then cut.
So now, could you just set a full sheet on top of there and mark?
Yeah, I could have, but this is an example where I trusted the plans.
Ah.
And I should have looked at the plans and then maybe measured just to see that the plans were correct.
Yeah.
And stuff. And this is what you find when you're building a Hummel Bird.
From scratch.
You're looking at what you should have done and could have done.
Yeah.
The other thing that, I don't know if I mentioned it previously, but I became pretty frustrated in building this.
Uh-oh.
And I'd find that I'd make some mistakes in either cutting the material, drilling the holes, and I'd walk away, and after thinking about it, I learned that I needed to change my attitude. So now my attitude is, the first thing that I'm doing, that's a template. Now the question is, how many templates will it take? 1, 2, or 3? So, but once you start thinking that way, I think it minimizes the frustration.
Frustration, yeah.
Like that.
So I had a saying. It's like, it's never done wrong. It's just done over.
Are you a Hummel Bird builder? Yeah. So the other thing I'd mention is that because I'm maybe a slow learner, I've discovered that the Ultra Cruiser plans are really much better than the Hummel Bird. So I've ordered the Ultra Cruiser plans to help aid me in understanding how to build a Hummel Bird a little better, see what they did in the Ultra Cruiser. And so it's a little backup information. It's newer. And the Ultra Cruiser comes with, it looks like superior plans, and they come with an assembly manual.
Oh, nice.
The one thing about building the Hummel Bird with their plans is there's no sequence or order that you're going to build it.
Oh.
So there's no step 1, step 2, or step 3. You kind of...
You read it and figure out what's first.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, so, wow, that's a challenge.
Anyway, I'm hoping now that once I'll use the Ultra Cruiser plans to use to get some further insights before I start re-drilling, deburring, and starting to cleco everything together, but also to rivet.
Yeah.
And by the way, I've chosen, the Hummel Bird uses a lot of solid rivets, but I'm going to use mostly cherry pull rivets.
Oh, gotcha. Just the pop rivets?
Yeah, pop rivets. And I use them on the Sonics and on the RV12. And I think it comes out, they're very strong. They have stainless steel insert in them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very strong. In fact, the Hummel plans call out for an AVEX rivet, that the rivets that I plan to use, which are the cherry rivets, they're about 2 to 3 times stronger.
So strength is not a concern then?
Well, shear strength and tensile strength is something I'm interested in, to make sure that everything's going to stay together.
Right.
So if the Sonics is an aerobatic rated airplane, as you know, you in the 1X, and that's all cherry rivets.
Mm-hmm.
So
all pop rivets, yeah.
Pop rivets. So
now one thing
I decided to do.
Now one thing I was noticing when here is I just love how you formed this to match the fuselage. This just looks like great craftsmanship right here. I just love that. Just goes right in here and beautiful. And then the other thing I noticed too is you early on you mentioned in the last video that you made this bulkhead about a 1/2 inch bigger than the plans, and sure enough, man, the mating of the skin right here and the fuselage looks great. So that was a great tip you got from Pat. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's coming together, but I haven't cleaned anything up because my strategy was put it all together, Cleco it to make sure everything fits, and if it doesn't fit right, you can take it off, redo it. That would be template number 1. Although this one's probably template number 2 or 3.
Right.
So as long as you're willing to do a template and not get frustrated, so once I'm to the stage now that I'll start to finalize everything, and then it'll end up riveting everything. I can take out the beam, and
Wow. So everything on here right now is temporary.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I'll have to take it all off, deburr,
drill out
to the. Yep.
Okay, well, I'll give you another 3 months.
Well, if I can stay out of the hospital and stay out of my office, I'll be fine.
That's the 2 things get in the way of everything, huh?
Yeah. But it's been a fun project. I love building. You got to be somewhat humble.
Yeah, and like you were showing me over here, this cool little bender that you came up with here, and that's how you bent all that square tube.
Let me show you, because this started out as a square tubing, aluminum tubing.
Yeah.
So I made this so that I can just put it in here.
Is that something you got off of YouTube or
No, I just
thought about it
myself?
Oh, good for you.
This worked out really well, and so it starts off at a long straight piece, and then I would mark it on the plans where it needed to build. Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, you scaled up the plans to full size?
Yeah. And then I'd put this in, like this guy here, and I'd match it up where that arrow is.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Right there, right where it made contact.
Yeah.
And I'd bend it.
Sweet.
Yeah, so not bad.
Yeah.
It comes out pretty good.
No, yeah, that's what I was saying. It just matched the fuselage great right there. That looks so good.
Well,
it is artwork.
Yeah, mine's okay, but Pat down at Crestwell, his is perfect. He's a very good builder.
But how many years has Pat got into his?
10 and a half.
10 and a half. All right. We'll see if Les can do in 10 and a half months what Pat has done in 10 and a half years.
Yeah, but this might be kind of noteworthy. Is when I got interested in the Hummel Bird, when I first seen it back in December, I ordered the plans, and friends of mine would say, "Well, Les, when do you think you'll be done?" I said, "Oh, August."
Oh, August.
I'm just thankful that I didn't tell them which year.
That's always the key.
Yeah.
Never mention a year. You can mention any date you want, just don't add the year in it.
Yeah, but the other thing is, I was looking at this is going to have a 45 horsepower engine, half Volkswagen. The plans initially, when they came out 23 years ago or so, had a 35 horsepower engine. So I did some rough calculations based upon the Hummel plans, and I should get to cruise about 130 miles an hour in this.
Holy smokes!
So that's pretty good.
130. That's awesome.
And that's 2.5 gallons an hour, supposedly.
And you were getting 130 in your YX, is that right?
I did 140.
Okay, there you go.
And that's at 2500 AGL, and I was very happy with it.
You'll be approaching that.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's a fun project.
Awesome. Well, good job, Les.
The lesson here is measure twice, cut once.
Measure twice, and it's never done wrong. It's just done over.
Yeah.
All right, that's our July review of Les's Hummel Bird. Thanks, Les.
Yeah, thanks.